In this video, I will be again considering the Blue-Ridge hot tub problem, where we would like to decide the number of units of two products to produce, Aquaspa and Hydrolux, two hot tubs to produce per week, in order to maximize the profit that we obtain from producing them, subject to three resource constraints and making sure that the values of variables are not negative. So in order to solve this problem, we will be using Excel with an Excel solver add-in. And the first thing we need to do in order to solve a problem in Excel, we need to formulate or actually implement this model in Excel. And the implementation of the model in Excel is actually like converting the model, writing all the functions here, putting all the parameters and then writing all the functions that are in this model. So the first thing we need to put is the decision variables. The decision variables are just numbers that we do not know the values of yet. So I'm going to create space here for Aqua Spa, right? This is going to be the variable x1, and this will be Hydrolux, right? Variable x2. Of course, you could put just x1, x2, but I'm putting both the name and the variable to make things easier to like recognize. Now, these are just labels. We really need the values of those variables entered somewhere. I'm going to mark decision variables with yellow color. So, right, I don't know what these values will be, but they could be, for example, 1 and 2, right? We want to find optimal values for those decision variables. Now, what also we need, right, we can actually say that these values will be units to produce, right? Units to produce actually per week. And then what we need is we need to calculate somewhere all the functions that are here. So we need to calculate the profit. We need to calculate the number of pumps that are used, the labor hours that are used with 9, and the feet of tubing that are used. And then we will be able to try and use a solver that is available in Excel to find the optimal solution of this problem. Now, I could say, right, for example, that profit in dollars, I could just write this function 350 times, and then x1, I don't know what it is, but I know it will be in this space, right? And I could say also plus 300 times, and then I could enter this value, right? And of course, this would correctly calculate the profit for one Aquaspa and two Hydroluxes. The profit is 950. However, this is not a very nice way of formatting this, right? Because you don't see actually these numbers 350 and 300 clearly in the spreadsheet. A nicer way is to put all the numbers like profit contributions, 350 for every Aquaspa and 300 Hydrolux. Now I've overwritten the formula, right? And then to calculate a total value, right? Let's say we'll call this total here in this cell. And what would be the total value? Well, based on these numbers and values of x1, x2, it will be 350 times the value of x1 plus 300 times the value of x2. Now, this is a correct function again, right? This is going to calculate 950. However, there is still a better way to calculate this. So remember, this is just a small toy example. What if we had 20 decision variables, 100 decision variables? There would be a much bigger table here of decision variables, and this would be a lot of typing, right? It would be this times x1, this times x2, this times x3, this times x4, and so on. It would be a very long formula. There is an easier way to enter this formula using a function, and notice this formula is just a summation of products. Products are multiplications of two references or two numbers. And so, right, we have a product here, B4, this is the profit, times B2, the variable, and then C4 times C2. And if it was a larger table, there would be more of those products. And I want to have sum of such products. To obtain this value, we can just say equals, enter the function sum product, right? And the sum product takes two arrays. It could take actually more than two, but in this case, we just need two. We will select the first array to be the unit profits, and then put comma, and select the second array, the decision variables. And one more thing I want to say is we need to make sure that the decision variables, we're going to copy this function later on, and when I copy it, I want to change the parameters. These parameters will not be valid parameters for other functions, but the decision variables should stay the same. The reference should stay to decision variables. So I'm going to press here F4. This is for Windows computers, at least. F4. If you press F4, the Excel adds dollars, and what dollars do is dollars fix the reference B2 and C2 is not going to change when you copy this formula somewhere else in the spreadsheet, right? So I pressed F4 and then I close parentheses and say enter. And notice we still have this function calculating 950, so we had actually 3 ways of calculating it. One was entering the numbers directly in the formula. Second one was using references, but then specifying every cell separately. And the last one, the best way, is the one where we use the sum product. Sum product is nice because we can actually do calculations for much larger than 2 decision variables and parameters. I'm going to mark this with a color just to remember that this is a formula. Right? So what I want you to see is if I change this to 5, this formula will be recalculated to correctly denote the profit in dollars, the total value of profit if you produce 5 and 2. Right? And it's a nice model. I can change this to 10 and I can see how much profit can I obtain by producing 5 aquaspas and 10 hydroluxes. Right? I'm going to go back to 1 and 2. And then what else do we need? Well, we need these formulas for pumps, labor, and feet of tubing. And I want you to see these are linear functions. So they all have the same format, just different parameters. So 350 and 300 were parameters of this function, 350 for x1, 300 for x2. Here, those parameters are 1 times x1, and 1 times x2. Here they are 9 and 6, and 12 and 16. What I will do is I will just enter these 3 constraints. I will say pumps, labor, hours, and feet of tubing, and then I will enter 1 and 1. Every product uses 1 pump, 9 and 6, and 12 and 16. And now what's nice is if I copy this formula, this sum product that you see in the total profit, if I copy it, or you can grab by this and just drag it down, does the same thing as copying. You check any of those formulas. Actually, we can double click or press F2 to see that this formula is now taking those parameters. So no longer 350 and 300, but 9 and 6, right? There were no dollars in the first reference. So as we copied it 2 rows down, the references to the parameters moved. They are relative references. B6, it was before B4 here. And now it's B6, C6. And the references to the decision variables, where we put the dollars, they did not change. If you forget the dollars, the reference would go down by 2. But since we put those dollars by pressing F4, now this reference does not change. So we have now correctly calculating functions, right? Functions that calculate number of pumps, 3. It is using 3. Number of labor hours, 21, 9 times 1, and 6 times 2, 6 times 2, 12 plus 9, 21. And feet of tubing, I'm sure it is also correct. So one thing that's still remaining is that we want to say what are the available units of resource. Of course, for profit, there isn't an available amount. Right? But for the resources, we have the available units. So I'm going to start the label and just enter here. Well, there are 200 pumps available. There is 1566 feet of labor hours and then 2880 feet of tubing. And we actually entered the model completely, right? So what I want you to see is that this is something that will let us test any possible solution. So if I try 1 and 2, I see the profit. I see also the resources used, and I can see I am not exceeding any of those available number of units, right? So 3 is no more than 200, 21 is no more than 1566, as the constraint was saying, right? as the constraints were saying. All constraints are satisfied because these numbers are not higher than these numbers, right? And this is the profit. And of course, I can try, for example, 250, and I can see there's a nice profit of 85,000, but pumps, I'm using too many. Actually, I'm using all three resources. There are too many units used, right? I don't have that many units, so this is not a good solution. But if I try, for example, 150, 50, I can see number of pumps is satisfied, number of feet of tubing is satisfied, but labor hours are not satisfied. I'm using too many labor hours. So this is not a feasible solution because of labor hour constraint. Now, we're not going to, of course, play with it like this. We want to use an algorithm, and there is a built-in algorithm in Excel that can solve this problem, but I'll show you this in another episode.